another edition of LFB Media Group melanated news you can use. And we finally got the budget for the city of Los Angeles. Very, very interested to dig into all of this and see where we are. So I wanted to just, share this with you all. And some other things are going on. It's a lot going on, but Mayor of Los Angeles, Karen Bass, sharing her new vision for the city of Los Angeles in her first ever State of the City address. So much. I love living in Los Angeles. She's an amazing mayor. She gives me a lot of hope and optimism for the future. But something's happening right now in my home native city of Kansas City. What's going on there? Because I thought we were getting ready for the NFL draft. Well, looks like, some unfortunate incident, including a teenager, is dominating. And I don't know if y'all know about Kansas City, but we don't play when it comes to racial issues in that city. Most times we shut it down. We just shut it down. So I know a lot of people are not familiar with the collective and the so-called Black community in Kansas City if you're not from that area. But I want to take this time to invite you all in. Please share the video with your family and friends, anyone in your network. If you're in Los Angeles, definitely hit me up. Let me know. Welcome to those that tune in. I appreciate you all. I'm just going to take some time to invite some people in your network. If you're in Los Angeles, thank you. And we'll get right into it. I wanted to share something as I take this time to invite my people in. I kind of went off script today, and I have a lot of content to share, but coming out of City Hall, I wanted to share something that I, just kind of had to just, let's cut the crap here. Where the dollar's at, okay? So for me, my focus is on small businesses because so many of my family, friends are small business owners. Most people that I deal with, especially in the Black community, are self-employed. And I wanted to just kind of give some justification why this is important to me, why I'm doing what I'm doing, and we'll go from there. I just wanted to share this as I just take this time. I really want you all to know where I'm coming from, and I think it is important for us all to set intentions. So we're gonna go right into it. I'm gonna take this time to invite my people to come in, and hopefully you all will enjoy the broadcast, and we'll go from there. All right, I'm going to just get right into it, and hopefully you all. I just wanted to speak candidly here today and just kind of set the tone. So thank you. Coming over from the first ever State of the City address by the mayor, and right into the next day it's a budget. And I've been noticing she does these major things, and the next day she hits the ground running. And we've been waiting for this budget. She's been working with city managers, just who have all the budget and financial experts. So I was so excited. It's a lot to get out, but we're going to get through it, I promise. And hopefully you all subscribe to my YouTube. For those that tune in via Facebook while we're doing the live broadcast, hopefully we'll do a simulcast one day. But until then, I appreciate you all for tuning in. Great. All right. Let's be candid here. Let's do for LFB Media. All right. All right, I'm going to speak candidly here. So this is Lady Lila Brown for LFB Media Group's Melanated News You Can Use. And I'm back at City Hall where the mayor has finally unveiled her budget for the fiscal year 2023-2024. And already
the issues of homelessness is being addressed? How will the city afford interim housing and housing the unsheltered? How will the city use its budget coming in from HUD? How will the city use its budget coming in from the state and other federal resources such as FEMA to address issues of homelessness? And some of the Angelenos that are displaced were due to wildfires and flooding, other effects of climate change. So it's not always because these people are economically vulnerable and disadvantaged. It's just things that are sometimes beyond their control. So I believe the mayor understands this. The mayor touched on other services that, just normal day-to-day operations and what it takes to manage a city. But the number one focus is always going to be homelessness. Inside Safe, getting nearly more than $1 billion in investment. Where will that money go? A percentage of it will go, of course, to the staffing, the administrative support, but it is also that transitioning wraparound care that she's always talking about. These things have to be funded. So moving day, outreach, making sure that they have all of the resources available to help these people that are in need. And the mayor is constantly talking about mental health services for some of these homeless victims to this humanitarian crisis. They simply are addicted, whether it's to prescription drugs or even recreational drugs. It's still a factor that these people need serious and urgent care. I would love to see more from this mayor talking directly about small businesses, because certain people that are excluded from participating in this economy due to racial discrimination and also gender discrimination, they go and create their own businesses because they just want to work. And so it's up to the city and be in alignment with the state to guarantee that these businesses are also having a fair advantage and stake at receiving city contracts. Supplier diversity is a huge opportunity for those that are self-employed to get work, and the city needs a lot of help. So if you cannot hire direct employees, the city would be best to contract these services out. But the red tape that they talk about and how to get people housed, and this is me just going off the script here, y'all. The red tape is also very much evident in going after contracts. That means responding to requests for proposals, requests for more information, and requests for pricing and quote estimates. Well, if anybody's ever gone after a proposal that the city is requiring certain services for planning, management, consulting services, education, public relations, advertising, media buying, when you see the packet for the documents that you need to turn in and the entire application, when you want to talk about bureaucracy and red tape, it is all evident there. So it seems like there's a grandfather clause that prohibits disadvantaged communities and small businesses, and specifically Black women-owned businesses. They are not able to properly respond because they're asking for past success. Well, if you've never had an opportunity to participate in this economy, how can you have evidence of past success? It's the same type of suppression laws that created literacy tests for the newly emancipated slave, and then also, what are these voter suppression laws? If you owned property in the past, or your grandfather owned property, you then can have the privilege to vote, knowing that these people were coming up from slavery. So it's the same economic disadvantage. Specifically, I'm speaking to Black women-owned businesses who were discouraged from even getting an education and also even applying for contracting, supplier diversity, and vendor opportunities. So how is the mayor's office going to address that? I had an opportunity to speak with someone that is very much well-versed in procurement services. And how will the mayor ensure that small businesses are included with all of the contracting opportunities that the state and the city is doling out? This is Lady Lila Brown, once again at City Hall, keeping you abreast on all the latest developments, news, and updates coming out of the mayor's office. And we finally have the fiscal year accounting budget summary. It's all the blue book is more than 1,000 pages. So give us time to go through it. We'll share it on my next live, and we'll go sure you check out all the latest details from the mayor's budget on my website, ellabmediagroup.com, and we'll go live. We'll discuss this in greater detail. But until next time, take care and good luck.
Oh, there she goes. Great, great, great. So, and we're back. I just had to get on my soapbox real quick and let you all know kind of, what's going on, why I'm so interested in this budget. So I thank you all. Thank you so much for your comments. I appreciate that. Your support really, thank you, keeps me going. But I've been waiting for this, and I just want to get a few minutes in your speech. Y'all know I love playing the whole speech, but I got the speech last night. You can check it out on my YouTube, and then I broke it down as best I could. It was a pretty lengthy. It was a full keynote address. I mean, she did the State of the City, which I love. I always wanted to attend the State of the Union, so this will do. I love it. And it's very interesting. I want you to listen to what she says, just a few moments here. But she got into policing. I thought we were working towards defunding the police. I don't think she's on board with that as much, unfortunately. But LAPD is understaffed. So, they seemed like they was really idle anyway. Looked like they ain't have a lot of work to do, so they had to make some shit up. And then they had to go out there and, take out a few innocent people because they were just so bored. So, if there's not enough work, then, just let them go. Just lay them off. But I'm going to say this. Some people don't feel safe in Los Angeles. I actually feel safe. I actually, we're a little different here, but I feel safe. And maybe that's because there is less police. I didn't realize there was a shortage in recruiting and things like that. And it was very funny. I'm going to put this video up on my YouTube. I was walking into City Hall today, and right outside of the LAPD headquarters, there's a man with a sign like, I was wrongfully terminated. I'm like, oh, what did he do? Because I don't think they terminate people for, taking out innocent civilians. So I know that ain't it. So I said, I'll engage. What's going on with you? And he was like, I got injured on the job. And I'm like, wait. The mayor is saying that they're understaffed and they're going to start bringing in civilians to work in the LAPD offices and things like that, and bringing in retired workers from retired police officers, recently retired police officers, and you out here with a sign talking about you were wrongfully terminated. What is going on? So it's a doozy. It's way too much going on. I was like, we'll deal with that later. So I did my quick little Q&A, but I'll put that up on my YouTube. But I wanted us to listen here to the mayor. Thank you to those that tune in and share the video. I also appreciate that because, a lot of this information, yes, it seems like local LA news, but I am realizing that other cities can really benefit from paying attention to what Madam Mayor Karen Bass is doing. I am realizing that a lot of cities are dealing in some varying degree, very similar to what's happening in Los Angeles. So if your city is experiencing issues with homelessness, I think these creative solutions are effective, highly productive, efficient, fast acting. I've never seen, quite a hustle on really getting people housed, and it's a miracle. You would think an Olympics is coming to the city, but I'm going to you would think they trying to cut. I remember what happened in Berlin. They all of a sudden it's like, we're Nazi Germany and we are totally we're the nicest city on earth, and they were stuffing people into showers and ovens in the back. and then acting like they weren't as racist against J.C. Owens. And then I don't know. I'm so confused because the Nazis gave Jesse Owens shoes because he didn't even have shoes to run in the Olympics. And there was no Nike. There was Adidas. So I'm still kind of confused. But you'll see cities like to put their best fit. I was in fucking Russia, okay? I saw them build a city from scratch. So I know a lot of this homelessness is tied. Somebody said, get that city together. I'm starting to realize I love this mayor. She's amazing. But it's like dawning on me now. We passed the 420 hour. So it's hitting me now. Wow. It's never, well, it did kind of hit me, but now it's becoming more expressed. I think this is all a play to clean up the city. And I know she really cares about the city, so she's the best person for this job. But they really needed somebody to come in there and clean up that homelessness, because what we not gonna have is the homeless population. Man, I'm telling you, that is embarrassing for a city. I'll talk about that more later. Oh my gosh, I hate that that's happening, but no, I like to think that's not happening. But let's get into it. Let's go right into her speech. Well, I like to play her whole speech, but I want to keep you guys here. Howdy, how are you? Here she is. Let's give her a big round of applause. You guys, you can also, clap along. You can participate. Don't hate. All this. I was way in the back in the media area. Wait, pause. Pause. Look at this diverse audience. Woo-hoo! I did see all this. I was there last night. I want to share this speech. It's a really good speech. We'll tune out because I know some of these things are really localized to Los Angeles. So if any LA people come in, please let me know you're here. If you care about what's happening with homelessness, I advise you to pay attention. But I did not get to see. This looks so presidential to me. I'm just saying. Look, she can be vice presidential too. She can be real vice presidential too. Ooh, I'm seeing it. I won't say nothing. I don't like to give away my little political ideas, but I think this is a beautiful scene. It represents diversity. I think this is a great reflection of the city of Los Angeles. So I think this is great. We're going to get into it. I'm feeling it. All right, we are here just moments after the budget has been revealed from the city of Los Angeles. We'll talk a little bit about that because, again, maybe some of you all are city planners out there. You watch this. Some of y'all are probably community activists. Maybe you do some work on various levels throughout your cities and your towns and villages, wherever you all live in the world and you tune in. I think y'all could learn a lot from Mayor Bass, and I'm so happy to share this information. Let's get into this speech. And I just think the whole thing is beautiful, and it makes me so joyful. Like I said, hopeful, ambitious, more ambitious, and just optimistic. And I love it. It's a very gleeful time. So I'll get back to it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. What a welcome. I appreciate that so very much. And thank you, Chairwoman Hahn, for those kind words. The closer you and I work together, the faster we can bring people inside. And I am so honored that we have locked arms together for the people we serve, because there's no more finger pointing between the city and the county.
Yes.
Council President Krikorian, thank you as well for your kind words, for your leadership, and for welcoming us into your chambers. I am pleased to recognize a special guest here tonight with us, former Mayor Antonio Villaraigosa. Stand up, please. And I also want to recognize again my friends from the supervisors, Supervisor Hilda Solis, Secretary of Labor, former, Supervisor Lindsay Horvath, members of the City Council, City Attorney Heidi Feldstein Soto, City Controller Kenneth Mejia, and most importantly, the people of Los Angeles. Tonight, it is my honor to fulfill my duty under the charter to report on the state of our city. I am 127 days into my administration, and I cannot declare that the state of our city is where it needs to be. But I am proud to report that together we have brought change to the city of Los Angeles. We have increased urgency at City Hall, and we have a clarity of purpose and have focused our work on the people's most pressing challenges. After years of frustration tonight, we can see a clear path to a new Los Angeles, where the state of our city will be stronger, healthier, happier, and safer. But the state of our city is really about the state of your neighborhood. It's about the state of your household. It's about the state of your mind. Do you look over your shoulder when walking after dark? Do you feel pride in your local park? Do you have peace of mind because you can actually pay the rent? When the answer is yes, then we can say the state of our city is strong. That's the new LA that we're building together. We were reminded of how far we must go a few weeks ago when 30,000 public school custodians, bus drivers, classroom aides, and other school workers went on strike. Too many of them are struggling to get by despite their hard work. But I'm proud that I could work with Superintendent Alberto Cavallo and SEIU Local 99 Executive Director Max Arias. And I know you're here, Max. Please stand. You came together for a historic agreement on behalf of our students and the workers in our school. But to build a stronger, healthier, happier, and safer new LA, we must make life easier for every Angelino, especially those who are most vulnerable. On my first day as mayor, I bypassed City Hall and went directly to the Emergency Operations Center to place our city in a state of overdue emergency. I was joined by our city attorney, city controller, council president, President Pro Tem, Councilmember Rahman, heads of LASA and Metro, and the chair of the County Board of Supervisors, Janice Hahn. Today, other cities and the county itself have all declared a state of emergency. This new era of city and county cooperation is essential to our success, especially when it comes to Inside Safe, our new approach to moving people inside from encampments. Our new CEO of LASA, Dr. Valicia Adams Kellum, please stand. Dr. Adams Kellum created Inside Safe based on lessons learned when housing people during the pandemic. And we have piloted our program in partnership with Council President Krikorian and Council members Blumenthal, Rahman, Yarslowski, Harris-Dawson, Park, De Leon, Soto Martinez, and McCosker. Inside Safe starts with outreach from trained workers, many of whom are formerly unhoused themselves. They offer motel rooms and other temporary housing and a path to permanent housing with services. People can keep their property and stay with their partners and their pets. We are removing the barriers that have been in place for far too long. We have finally dispelled the myth that people do not want to come inside. They do. And so today, more than 1,000 Angelenos are living inside and safe through this initiative. Tomorrow, I will release my first budget as mayor. Building on the success of Inside Safe, my budget includes a $250 million investment to scale Inside Safe citywide. Leaning into the new direction we've charted for LA, my budget also includes an unprecedented $1.3 billion investment to accelerate our momentum on homelessness. Now, this is a record for the city of Los Angeles. This is a truly historic city budget commitment because much of the state and federal pandemic-related money from the past couple of years is no longer available. As we scale our homelessness strategy, renting motel rooms, however, is just not a sustainable model. This is why my budget breaks new ground to fund the purchase of motels and hotels by the city. The city must also lead with the land that we own and control. As a result of my executive directive number 3, city staff is right now working through 3,000 city-owned properties to identify those that we will use for housing. And together with the city attorney, we are taking bold action to preserve and rehabilitate nearly 2,000 units of housing that the Skid Row Housing Trust said they could no longer manage. So, Madam City Attorney, thank you for your leadership and your partnership. With more than 4,000 unhoused people living in Skid Row, failure is just not an option. Just isn't. But the solution to homelessness is about more than housing. So we understand that there are many reasons why people fall into homelessness, but we know that the number one reason is economic. But we also know that many unhoused people suffer from substance abuse or mental illness. As a matter of fact, before the Skid Row properties were put into receivership, we saw 3 people die in the same building on the same day. The suspected cause was a fentanyl overdose. In the first quarter of this year, 22 people died on Metro. That is more than the number of people that died on Metro in the entire year of 2022. Now, of course, we know that there's a law enforcement component to the multiple problems on Metro, but there must be real and sustained treatment available for substance abuse and mental illness for the unhoused. So my budget breaks new ground there as well by using funds received from the opioid and tobacco settlements to pay for substance abuse treatment for beds for the unhoused. Now, we also must eliminate the bureaucratic obstacles that keep people unhoused. And a key obstacle is the coordinated entry system that determines who is eligible for housing. The system has become dysfunctional, impractical, and inequitable, leaving Angelenos to suffer intense. So the council and my office got to work, thank you, Chairwoman Roman, passed reforms, and we are on the way toward fixing this system. So another factor is it's just unacceptable that nearly 2,000 housing vouchers are going unused. So my administration acted immediately to add emergency staff to the Housing Authority to accelerate the voucher process. But there's a flip side too. Another barrier that keeps Angelenos in encampments is a lack of apartments that will accept housing vouchers. So I call on apartment owners, please accept vouchers. Start with just one unit and let us earn your trust. You will see that this administration is doing things differently. Over the last 127 days, I have had the privilege of attending ribbon cuttings for hundreds of units of housing because of past efforts by former Mayor Eric Garcetti and the support of City Council and the voters who passed Measure H and HHH. And my administration will build on this foundation by building more and building much faster. My executive directive number 3 accelerates and lowers the cost of building affordable and temporary housing in Los Angeles. That directive is now in effect, and it covers 360 projects, which is 8,000 units of desperately needed housing. Soon after taking office, we identified 1,000 units of housing with funding gaps that might have resulted in the units never being built. But now our Fast Track Solutions program is filling those gaps to make sure those units get built and get built faster and get built cheaper. So locking arms, we are breaking ground on how we partner with the state and federal government. Governor Newsom has announced that he is delivering 500 units of temporary housing to Los Angeles. And he is also partnering with us to develop care courts and a statewide ballot initiative to create thousands of mental health treatment beds. Finally. Governor Newsom has also sent our city and county over $200 million. The Biden administration has so far sent the city and the county more than $200 million to house Angelenos. And we have also been working closely with the administration to make sure that LA is one of the target cities for their strategic plan to prevent and end homelessness. I told the administration, if you want to meet your homelessness goals for the nation, you can do so right here in Los Angeles. You can meet your goals. Now, my number one job as mayor is to keep Angelenos safe. But unfortunately, the reality is that LAPD is down hundreds of officers. This has been an ongoing trend in LA and in cities across the country. And so I'm concerned that the department's recent release of information will cause even more officers to leave. Our officers already face enough threats. They put their lives on the line every day. Just last month, 3 officers were shot while pursuing the same individual. Fortunately, each of them are recovering now. My budget proposal calls for urgent action to hire hundreds of officers next year on the way to restoring the department to full strength. The situation we currently face means that we could see the number of LAPD officers drop below 9,000, and we have not seen numbers that small since 2002. So we are launching an urgent recruitment campaign With incentives for new recruits, we will provide financial incentives to city employees who help us find new officers. We will support a program to bring recently retired officers back on the job. And of course, as committed, we will hire civilians at LAPD so officers can move back onto the street. And we will hire 911 operators. This will reduce police and fire department response times and improve our ability to refer calls to alternative responses. In January, tragically, 3 Angelenos who may have been experiencing a mental health crisis lost their lives during encounters with law enforcement. In reappointing Chief Moore, Chief Moore. Thank you. We agreed to a clear set of metrics that chart a new direction for the department, including reducing the number of officer-involved deaths, revamping the disciplinary system, and providing enhanced mental health training for every officer. I also made it clear that we must expand the capacity of the city's mental health crisis teams to operate citywide and to be available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Okay, that's where it's getting really interesting, because when she was talking about the 3 people who lost their lives from encounters with police, one of them was Black Lives Matter activist Patrisse Cullors' direct family member, her cousin, and the mayor, Madam Mayor, knows that. So that's a little bit confusing, because I'm gonna start with the 911 operators. Those people are probably traumatized. Okay, people that I was like, okay, is that a job I would take? Is that a job you would take? And then you sit there, you think about it, and you gotta go home with that every night. You done sat here, people screaming and panicking and not listening to your directives, and maybe the police didn't make it in time. So I know we need that, but think about this. Oh my gosh. Think about all the people that make false phone calls to police. They also, we need to have more penalties for that. Making false statements, right? And I'm just so confused, because better policing, dealing with mental health issues, it's a conundrum. It's not an easy job, but it looked like defunding the police. I thought we redirected and cut the budget for that. So I think we need to have a defund the police 2.0. So we're just gonna keep it moving along, because I want to get into the budget, but how can I? How can I when baby boy just had an interaction with police? And y'all gonna learn something about Kansas City. Baby boy, what in the world? Baby boy Ralph Yarl, yet another incident, yet another act of terrorism from people who benefit from colonialism. Don't get me started. Let's just get to the story. But today, students walked out of his school. Like, these kids already don't want to be in school. They're already scared. So please give them a reason to walk out. And the man that shot baby boy, for the teenager that approached the wrong house, just simply trying to pick up their siblings. Let's get into that. Yeah, get into it. My gosh.
Black Lives Matter! Justice. That's what Ralph Yarl's family wants for the 16-year-old who was shot and injured last week. Yarl had mistakenly rang the doorbell of Andrew Lester's house in Kansas, Missouri, while trying to pick up his younger brothers. Lester opened the door and fired on Rolf Yarl. Prosecutors have now charged Lester with 2 counts, including first-degree assault, which carries a life sentence.
We understand how frustrating this has been, but I can assure you that the criminal justice system is working and will continue to work. As with any serious case, we approach this one in an objective and impartial manner.
Joining community members outside.
I told you. I told my sister in Kansas City, we pull up. We pull up. You're not, you mess with the wrong city. You saw what happened with Mike Brown. Stop that shit. Stop that. You did this in the wrong city. Baby boy is likely to survive. You tried it. We about to get it together. This is a travesty, but I told my sister, for my family that's out there, for my family and friends, this is what we do. We pulling up. Okay? You didn't want nobody at your house. Now we all at your house. We outside. You dealing with the wrong type of people. So, Kansas City, great state of Missouri, handled this. You see, I'm up. I'm like, oh, we up. I can't even sit down. You see, I'm up. You see, I'm like, oh, we pulling up at people's houses? I can't even. I told my sister, I said, girl. She said, how you feel about this? I said, girl, they don't know about Kansas City. We will pull. I said, so we basically got his address. We pulling up to the house. We outside.
The house where Yarl was shot. His family is grateful that he is recovering.
We are telling a story that is different from the stories that you normally hear.
Right now.
He is alive and he's healing.
The case has outraged many across the United States, including the White House. President Joe Biden called Yarl's family, offering his support, while Vice President Kamala Harris said on Twitter, "No child should ever live in fear of ringing the wrong doorbell." The prosecutor in this case has determined the shooting was not in self-defense and says it may have been racially motivated.
My message to the community is that in Clay County, we enforce the laws and we follow the laws, and it does not matter where you come from or what you look like or how much money you have. Everyone is held to the same standard.
There have been rallies in the state speaking out against gun violence and demanding justice for Yarl. Many have questioned why the suspect wasn't arrested and charged immediately after the shooting. But for Yarl's family, they say they're just happy to have him home. Lina Abu Akleh, Al Jazeera.
I had to get the Al Jazeera version. I prefer the Al Jazeera version. She called it Kansas, Missouri. Goodness gracious. Is that the way we want to be introduced? Kansas City needs to clean this up. They're hosting the NFL draft in just a few days. So there will be big money coming to the city. They just opened this brand new beautiful terminal that I had a chance to be one of the first flights out of this new Kansas City International Terminal. That terminal looked like 1960 just a few months ago. I thought it was like some like Brady Bunch airport. So I hate that fucking design. I hate the designs coming out of the 70s that look like the Brady Bunch. That shit looked like Palm Springs, but I don't like it. And so I didn't like the airport. And I was like, it was so like, it was not even like adaptable to 9/11 standards. So that's good to know that Kansas City is really stepping up with the Department of Agriculture and other things. Federal Reserve does a lot in that area. There's a central, Federal Reserve Central in the city as well, but I know they do not want this embarrassment. They do not want protesting ahead of the NFL draft. So I just wanted to get into that. I thought that was really interesting. And we're gonna get into this budget, but yeah, very, very, very interesting. So actually, I believe I have the mayor's speech from today where she talked about the budget, and I'm excited because, it's a lot. It's a lot of information. So I'm gonna get back to Los Angeles. I just had to go over to my Kansas City because that, her talking about police, and I'm like, wait a minute. I also want to know why was this man allowed to go? Like, I can't even get into a bar fight and be and go into the police custody and come out the same day. Especially, don't let it be on the weekend. You know what they saying? The judge will see you on Monday. Maybe you'll get in on a Tuesday. I don't know because I don't get into bar fights. But from what I understood, when people are detained or arrested, especially if it's on a weekend, there's nobody who is getting out the same day without some type of due process. They are tripping. They really are. So Kansas City, nobody wants to be embarrassed, and I believe because of social media is exacerbating and amplifying things, nobody wants that smoke. So we're gonna come out of the State of the Union. We're gonna get into the budget, which y'all saw, and yes, I'm gonna get right into that from the state of the city of Los Angeles,
Sustainable
and
for Los Angeles.
Great. Okay. Oh, great. So, no to that. I'm going to get into, yeah. Oh, okay. I think the mayor of Kansas City said something about baby boy Ralph Yarl. And so I've been trying to implement more of the mayor of Kansas City into my coverage as well, but we're just not there quite yet. So this is my footage of the mayor revealing her first, but I was so happy to be in the house. I was so happy to be there. So thank you for tuning in. And I'm going to tell you all, this is extremely important because all of the African American mayors are slated to meet within the coming days. So Kansas City, Atlanta, now Chicago. Also Houston, New York, Jackson, Mississippi, whatever other amazing U.S. cities have a Black American as president. That's a Freudian slip. Excuse me. As a mayor, all the Black American city mayors, and I believe most major cities have a Black American mayor at this point. Yeah, they will be meeting, and I think this is great for all of us as we connect with our brothers and sisters across the diaspora, the Pan-American diaspora, I like to call it. And as we connect and, and build with brothers and sisters in different cities, it's amazing that our mayor is doing these things as well. And I'm so excited. So I hope if you all have a Black American mayor and they're meeting this week, I really hope that they just get some pointers how to cut through all the red tape and bureaucracy so we can take care of families, we can cure homelessness, and we can also prevent homelessness. So we're going to get right into it. Thank you so much for tuning in our next segment here.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. This is my 128th day in office. So before presenting the budget, in these 128 days, assembling an administration with 3 weeks to transition from being a member of Congress to mayor has certainly been a tremendous effort. But I am so excited and thrilled at the talent that we have attracted. The talent, first of all, that exists in City Hall, period, as Matt Zabro and Bernice will come up, longtime city leaders will talk, but the talent that we've been able to attract
Williams, Deputy Mayor of Public Safety.
Good morning, my name is Karen Lane. I am the Deputy Mayor of Community Safety.
Hi, my name is Jean Hall, and I'm the Deputy Mayor of Finance and Innovation.
Good morning, my name is Randall Winston. I'm the Deputy Mayor of Infrastructure.
Morning, Nancy Sutley. I'm Deputy Mayor for Energy and Sustainability.
Good morning, I'm Erin Robinson, Deputy Mayor of International Affairs.
Good morning, I'm Bridget Shockley, Deputy Mayor, Economic Opportunity.
Good morning, I'm Joey Freeman, Deputy Mayor for Governmental Affairs.
Hi, good morning, my name is Rachel Freeman. I'm the Deputy Mayor for Business and Economic Development. Good morning, last but not least, I'm Jen Hornstock, Deputy Mayor of Health.
Thank you, Rachel. So we are here to present the budget, and this budget is a reflection of our values and invests in the most critical needs of the city. There is a difference between spending and investing. This budget makes investments to bring people inside in public safety and in other areas that will net a return in terms of lives saved, in terms of quality of life and better neighborhoods, and it will save the city money in the long run. This is a bold budget, and it is a responsible budget. The goal is to make both big changes and to chart a course of sustainable change. With 40,000 people unhoused in our city, and with the size of our police department possibly dropping to 2002 levels, there are no quick fixes, and I will not engage in band-aid budgeting. This is a real, sustainable plan for change and a new direction for Los Angeles. This budget charts a course to a new Los Angeles, one that is stronger, healthier, happier, and safer. My budget commits nearly $1.3 billion more money than ever before to move people indoors and confront the crisis of homelessness. This is a record for the city of Los Angeles that will accelerate our work on homelessness. Its significance goes beyond its record-breaking scale, with much of the pandemic funding unavailable this year. This represents a big city funding increase. We are scaling up Inside Safe with a $250 million investment to address more encampments across our entire city. Ideally, as we scale up, we would like to have outreach teams and Inside Safe teams in every council district every day. This budget breaks new ground by funding the purchase of hotels and motels, which will reduce costs compared with renting rooms. This is long overdue and something the community sees as just common sense. In other words, the purpose of purchasing the hotels and motels is because we really do need a permanent infrastructure for temporary housing. This budget also breaks new ground by using tobacco and opioid settlement money for our own substance abuse and mental health treatment beds. It will allow us to spend the money directly with nonprofit organizations that provide treatment services, so that when we're in tents in our hotels, if somebody is ready to be clean, we want to make sure there is a bed ready for them that day. We all know that substance abuse and mental illness disproportionately affects the unhoused. We say people can get the help, but like I just said, we need to make sure that it's available when they're ready. So this budget supports an urgent effort to also grow the police department to make up for attrition, to reach an end-of-the-year size of 2,500 officers. This budget supports the hiring of officers and supports bringing back recently retired officers. This is an ambitious goal, but we must be bold to change the downward trend in the side of LAPD as we work to restore the department to its full size. Now, at the same time, though, this budget supports our new Mayor's Office of Community Safety to cement our firm commitment to community engagement and community services as a core part of our public safety strategy. We want to have the Office of Community Safety build out the infrastructure for non-law enforcement responses and build out the infrastructure so that our city can move to prevent crime and reduce crime. This budget makes clear that we have a holistic view of public safety, and we want our officers responding to crime. We should not rely on them for being the first responders to homelessness, mental health, or other crises. This combination will lead to safer neighborhoods, save lives, and save money. Again, there is a difference between investments and savings. We are making common sense and strategic investments with this budget. We also fund 5 classes of 60 firefighters each, which with attrition will net 100 more firefighters to St. Angelenos and a new emergency appointment paramedic program so that we can put paramedics to work immediately. I do think it's important for people to know that 80% of the calls to the fire department are medical emergencies. My administration's plan for the year recommits to the city's zero emission goals, invest in our ideal that our neighborhoods should be clean and in good repair, and seeks to help businesses thrive and more Angelenos to earn paychecks and cover their bills. In the year ahead, we must work collectively and strategically to develop solutions for the many challenges we face, and we must be prepared for fiscal headwinds, which is why this budget contains reserves of 10% of general fund receipts. There are no simple answers, however. Los Angeles is one of the most intricate and complex cities in the world. If we tap the vibrancy and diversity of our people, however, we will transform Los Angeles into a model city where everyone can afford to live, where everyone is safe, and where everyone feels secure about their and their children's future. This is the new LA that we are building together. I'm happy to take your questions.
Yay! It's amazing. It's a new LA. Yo, a lot of people don't like change. So it makes me kind of, when you're black in America, and you hear the words change and you know it's gonna benefit us, when have we ever had a benefit without some type of backlash? So, kudos to her. And one time, she keeps saying this new LA, and I was like, ooh, okay. I mean, some people don't like change, and so, I was able to ask the mayor a question. Yeah, that's always a good thing. So specifically, I'm asking for me and my homegirls, all the women of color unite. I'm really asking, because Goldman Sachs says it's a great investment. Oh, I should have made that one of my headlines. Goldman Sachs said $2 billion this year. So I was able to ask the mayor a question, and specifically, we'll get more into the budget because there's a lot of numbers, and I can whisk through this really quickly. Her budget summary is very well put together, and I got to ask a question. It's always a good day when I get to ask a question because you guys know I'm looking out, and let's get it on the record. Again, you are watching LB Media Group's Melanated News You Can Use. I am your host, Lady Lila Brown, and I cover some of my top stories that are affecting us. And I'm just a little bit narcissistic when it comes to us, because if it ain't got nothing to do with me, like, why should I care? So I hope I am making these stories relevant. I hope you're all learning something. There is a way to properly deal with homelessness. I love this mayor's approach. I love her leadership style. I love this. Things that you think should be so normal, like the city and county working together. But I can tell you for a fact, in a place like Kansas City, Missouri, that Jackson County and Kansas City, Missouri are not really on the same page. And actually, the mayor of Kansas City is a de facto mayor. He's really just there for decoration. and times like, to make these public addresses. But I hope to get a little bit more into that, because some of y'all's mayors in these cities are just de facto, they just there for, they're decorative pieces, and they're there for symbolism. And I don't know how that makes for an effective government, but hopefully we'll dig a little deeper into what's happening in Mississippi with them creating this separate but equal justice system out there. So, yeah, let's get into it. My question to the mayor. Great.
Hi, how will the city's budget ensure that Black-owned businesses, women-owned businesses specifically, are granted contract opportunities, supplier diversity, things like that, and funding and access to capital resources?
Well, I think it's because we have a great deputy mayor, and she knows that that is one of her top priorities, and already she's met with a variety of business organizations. I don't know if you want to say a word, but I feel confident in that. We're working with small businesses, we're working with minority business organizations, and we have talked a lot about that specific issue.
Hi, good morning. I would just echo the mayor's words that small business, minority-owned business, related programs that allowing the expansion and support of that is very much the focus of the mayor's office of business and economic development, looking towards the chapter.
Woo! Looking like somebody caught somebody off guard. I don't think they were expecting that. I don't think they were expecting somebody to say specifically Black women-owned businesses, but there we have it. So I want to get this on the record that I did ask. I want to, but no, the good thing is that the sister there that she, alluded to, we were able to have a conversation. So hopefully, we'll get more information on that, because trust me, when that comes out, just because of the people that I interact with, a lot of my audience and things like that, I know that is a really important question. For the most part, everyone that I deal with are self-employed entrepreneurs, Black women who, like I was saying earlier in my PSA on my soapbox, when you're not the preference for employment opportunities, you kind of still have to do it yourself, right? You're independent. We independent women out here. So, and I don't even want to talk about all of the red tape and challenges and obstacles that are presently in the way when it comes to grants, when it comes to small business loans, and when it comes to vendor opportunities, supplier diversity in the professional services. Like if you got a tractor, or you got a truck, or if you got some type of tool, or what have you, and the city needs that, they're gonna come to you, all right, for these manufacturing tools and things like that. But in the service-based sector, that's a little less manual labor, they keep saying we need administrative jobs. Hey, maybe I don't want to go work in your office. Maybe you could just hire. Actually, if you hire a business, you might get it done much quicker and more cost effective. And you ain't got to worry about taking care of my, you don't have to worry about my health care. I do that myself. So we have the budget summary, and I'm going to go through it. I don't want to, this is proprietary information. I mean, I know it's public at this point, but still, it's like, come on. I kind of want to, have some respect for it. So I'll just show you a little bit. Let's see. Yeah. Beautiful budget summary. Great. From our mayor of Los Angeles, Karen Bass. She's given us the budget summary. It's a lot. The blue book, you hear today the last year versus this year. Y'all, that's like 1,000 pages. So I'm gonna go through it, and I'm gonna be highlighting some key accomplishments, issues, revisions, changes. We'll see. It's a lot. We're dealing with public works here. And I am particularly interested in housing. All that HUD money that came in, all the money that's coming in, because guess what? The COVID funds are no longer available. A lot of the protections and financial security that was allotted to really help the laborers and families and households and small businesses are no longer available. But from what I understand, there is money locked up. I know she pointed to that. Some of that money needs to be redistributed. And so I want to see where that's going. So we're going to get into this budget summary. As you can see, beautiful, beautiful here. And I'm going to just get into it. Very, 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 very simple. Great. And I'm just going to, read it for the record. So let's get it going. So most of her address, according to the mayor, this budget reflects the values of the city. It reflects her values as well. And she believes that this budget meets the people's most pressing needs. We can say that, they're making a lot of unprecedented investments with this budget. Again, that focus is on reducing homelessness and improving also the public safety. And they have to do so in a way that's fiscally responsible. I think we can all learn a lesson about budgeting and accounting and being fiscally responsible. And I really try my best to be fiscally conservative, but when I do get it, it's out because I really do need it. So that's part of being a small business is as soon as you get the money, it's like, shit, gotta spend it because, particularly Black-owned businesses. And I hope to get into another budgetary state report, the state of Black businesses and things like that. As tax season and all these things are underway, coming to a close, and we're really checking in what happened last year. I mean, I want to know, did those diversity, equity, inclusion departments get the funding that they needed? Was that money allocated? Was it dispersed and distributed? Was it properly utilized? These things are so important because, again, we as the laborers, workers, skilled professionals, executives, all these people that churn and make money for this system, the taxpayers, wow, the taxpayers, bless their hearts. So already, the mayor's new budget is committing nearly $1.3 billion. They're saying that this is unprecedented, to moving people from homelessness to indoors, to confront what the mayor has called a humanitarian crisis. And so her program that she's calling is called Inside Safe. It was created by a sister, one of my sorority sisters, Dr. Valencia Adams Kellum, and just amazing work what she's been able to do throughout her career, and I'm happy that she's in the mayor's office. And these are the things that make me feel really, 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 really good. So the budget breaks new ground. It invests in the city instead of just putting some people in homeless from homeless encampments into hotels and motels, just renting for a few nights. It's better for the city to purchase these, and then they can just use it instead of paying a nightly or weekly rate. And that makes more sense. You saw in the speech where she talked about mental health, substance abuse issues, and getting those treatment beds that will then be dedicated, getting these people off the streets, off the ground. Hygiene is so important with this as well. So she has a new Office of Housing and Homelessness Solutions. And this is something that I think is new, is that something directly for homelessness. Great. So safety, also very important in LAPD. I think those are the top two issues. But, that LAPD thing, it's just, gosh, I mean, things are happening there. So we got to be very, very careful. But the mayor's new budget, Madam Mayor Karen Bass's new budget, supports a new approach. She has a newly created another. It's like, again, so many jobs. I mean, I just see jobs. I mean, all these newly created offices. Office of Community Safety, and I saw the sister. I saw a sister that's leading that. So I hope we get to know her in the next coming days. But the focus there is to truly engage local residents and planning to keep the neighborhood safe. And, you know, usually when we hear keeping the neighborhood safe, we think, oh, more police. But I'm glad to see, I think that was a sister over there in that position. And we do be needing protection. And it's sad that we feel like we cannot call the police. Actually, I think it was the mayor was speaking at city council in the chambers, and there was a police chief, some sort, a police officer, sergeant type, and a sister, a black woman, and we immediately started talking. She made me feel so comfortable and safe. And she invited me to do a ride along. So I actually need to find her card because I would love to do a ride along and just kind of show you all, my viewers, audience, those that tune in, fans, friends, followers, family, whether you listen live or later, love you all. Maybe we can do that ride along and we can really get some insight to the day to day. And what if we end up in a high speed chase, or what if we end up on like an active pursuit? Oh my gosh, that would be so fun. But I would love to do that. So something is also telling me to get a little bit more involved with the LAPD as these changes are being made. And maybe it's that sister, the mayor, and going to the academy, visiting that area. But when she said civilian jobs, I'm like, that's pretty interesting because I know they have a PR department too. They have a media office. Every police department does. Maybe you didn't know that. But Mayor Bass's administration plan for the year ahead is recommitting. A lot of climate change really affects this area. So it's very interesting. They've always kind of painted the black community as well, as if we don't care about the environment. And, you know, this is our sacred home. And so we are native to this land. And we don't speak enough about that. And we just kind of make it seem like greenhouse solutions and, you know, man, bump all that. Like we not into environmental sustainability and climate protection and nature preserves, and that's just not the case. And I love that President Biden, when he was talking about his CHIPS Act, he actually got a brother from Buffalo. I believe they went to Syracuse, and the brother went to Syracuse, and he created a mobile app that's paired with his battery so you can find mobile charging stations for electric vehicles. You know, that's a black owned business right there. So we got to get involved with solar panels. We need to get involved because that's where the money is going. If y'all can't see that, that's where the money is going. You're going to miss the opportunity. Remember, this is a proposed budget summary for 2023-2024, right? But at the same time, there's so much happening in the next couple of years that you should be planning for. You know, we got to stop living day to day here. So plan for success. So again, the number one issue in Los Angeles is about homelessness. It's confronting the issues of homelessness and housing, and also preventing homelessness, right? All right. Oh, I love this. I love this picture. I was there that day. That's at the mission. She was feeding. Oh, I love this picture. I remember, that is a great shot. And look how it's dignified. It doesn't show the woman's face. It's protecting her privacy. But this, and it still showed the mayor doing good work. She was serving plates at the mission. Oh my God, I love this shot. Wow, this was on Christmas time season. Wow, I love it. So great. So great. Such a dignified woman. She's so dignified. I just love it. She's so dignified. she is saying this housing and homelessness crisis is a humanitarian crisis, and we have to treat it like one. So $1.3 billion to end the human tragedy of homelessness. That is amazing. It's unprecedented. And $250 million going to Inside Safe. So we got these numbers. We got the line items. We got the budget. This budget, once again, is setting a historic mark by increasing commitments. And I like that she said that. There's one thing when it comes to savings, but and also investments and commitments to nearly $1.3 billion to end the tragedy of homelessness, bringing people inside safe. So the budget provides $250 million to scale up Inside Safe. That's the program initiative. That's the whole campaign. And again, bringing people inside from these homelessness encampments. Temporary stay funding pays for the motels, okay, and other interim housing costs needed to get Angelenos off the streets quickly through Inside Safe. The budget allocates $110 million to this. There will be $62 million for ongoing services, such as case management that helps people transitioning from the encampments to permanent housing. This includes food, residential staff, support services, and then genius. All right, when you find yourself constantly buying something or renting it out and it's temporary, you want to go and do something that's more permanent. Again, like permanent housing. Well, here's a permanent acquisition of these hotels and motels. $47 million to acquire these motels and hotels to reduce future program costs. Again, you got to pay for staffing, so $10 million for staffing. I hope those people are being paid well over there because that is a huge undertaking. And I wanted to point out what I realized. A lot of the people that are helping the homeless population move from interim, off the street, interim housing into permanent housing from these temporary solutions, they themselves were also once upon a time homeless, is what I'm realizing and discovering as we dig deeper into this. So I can only imagine, I'm almost confident that they're approaching this with some type of compassion. Compassionate care is so important. Permanent housing, $21 million. Wow. 12 months of rental assistance. I love it. Establishing an Office of Housing and Homelessness Solutions. You know, I'm all where the dollars at. Where the dollars at? Oh my gosh, like seriously. So she's got these outreach teams. Oh, okay, great. Amazing. Major areas of focus for this major, get it? Major, great. More interim housing, $40 million to acquire those hotels and motels. Very interesting. Hotel Cecil, I think, was a part of this like plan, so we'll see. But everybody's like, "Ooh, who wants to go to Hotel Cecil?" Excuse you, downtown has some of the most beautiful gilded buildings in the world. Okay, all right. Our architecture is superb and it is historic. And when I've seen some of the renovation projects on downtown living, that molding, that gilded crown molding. The marble floors and the structure, a lot of these buildings downtown have been able to survive earthquakes because they have a really good marble, sturdy structure and foundation, unlike what we saw in Syria, okay, with the pancake, okay, the pancaking of the, because this shit was not stable. They were putting that shit on stilts. Jeez. So 2,000 permanent supportive housing units. Skid Row Housing Trust, a lot of people are familiar with Skid Row. $266 million for Proposition HHH. That's what we voted on. This will open doors to 4,500 new units. The city is expediting the creation of new housing by adding staff. That's a really great thing. So, and she talks a lot about substance abuse, and I don't know if anybody has any interactions with the homeless population in their area, but yeah, a lot of times you can easily detect that there are some mental illnesses and disassociation and sometimes I be listening to them. They just sound angry. You could tell there's unresolved issues. I can kind of hear the childhood trauma too. So I be listening. I be like, oof, they be dealing with some demons that you can't believe. $23.5 million for substance abuse treatment beds. These beds will be dedicated to Inside Safe participants who are in need of residential care for up to 12 months. This is funded with the project. Oh, this is my favorite part. She's gonna take all the money that was gained from tobacco settlements, and I think I heard the Attorney General Rob Bonta kind of say something very similar about using settlement money. I love the idea of settlement money. This is a lawsuit, and with that money, then you can use that for, well, what do we do with the money? What do we do when I love it. $11.8 million from tobacco settlements. I think Jewel was a part of that. I think that's what I heard about Jewel with Attorney General Rob Bonta. And then the opioid settlements were bringing in about the same amount, $11.7 million in receipts the city's expecting. They're going to do a whole lot more street medicine teams, providing medical services to those that are homeless. Because remember, if they have issues and these people are not well, maybe they just need some simple medication urgently. Part of the transition, if you're just getting them housed, but they're still sickly and ill and they're not getting the care and medical support that they need, these are really, really devastating. So I am so thankful for this mayor. I mean, I don't think people, I think her experience in the medical field really helps, but when you can feel, again, we melanated. When that melanin, you can feel the energy, you can feel the devastation for some of these people and just total dilapidated state. Just like Skid Row, all these buildings. And so, man, compassionate care. And she says the time for Band-Aid solutions is over, laying out a new vision, a new LA, laying out a vision for United to House LA. So that's called ULA. This is something new that I'm hearing about. So great. Yeah, we're here. This is a marathon. This is not a sprint. I'm so engaged. I'm so appreciative. Oh my God, we are running. My videos are so long. I know, I love it. Well, I see you guys listening to the Manosphere podcast for like 8 hours, so y'all be all right. Great. So this is new. In November 2022, Los Angeles, the voters, the constituents here, voted on a measure, ULA, to provide ongoing revenue dedicated to addressing and ultimately ending housing insecurity and homelessness in the city. So this measure is called ULA, like the letter ULA, and it mandates specific programs to increase the production and preservation of affordable housing and to expand homelessness prevention programs throughout Los Angeles. $5 million and 5.5% on property sales valued over $10 million. So the budget lays out Mayor Bass's vision by responsibly allocating $150 million out of the total collection projected for Measure ULA. Oh, great. These funds will support acquisition and rehabilitation of housing, $62 million for that. Short-term emergency assistance for tenants. Okay, $20 million. Okay. Income support for rent burden at-risk seniors, which is our very vulnerable population, people with disabilities. That's $25 million for that. Eviction defense. Oh, thank you for the hearts, y'all. Where the dollars at? This is your second largest city in the United States. All right, lots of money flowing. California just overrode Germany for the fourth largest economy in the world. Let me know you're here. Make sure you comment. California, if it was its own nation, would be the fourth largest economy in the world, overtaking and displacing and moving out of the way Germany. Shout out to the Honorable Malia Cohen. So eviction defenses, I really am interested in that. $25 million for that. Also tenant outreach, $6 million. Tenant protections and from harassment, $12 million, because people are still hurt from the pandemic. So measure that we voted on, Proposition HHH, all of these amazing things. I'm glad to see money wisely invested. What I hate, even when I'm in the entertainment world, is thousands of dollars, make it rain in the club on some scrippers at the Scrump Club. No. Not when I saw Atlanta black household averaging $28,000 a year, and the white households $89,000 to $96,000 on average household per year. And now when I be seeing us make it rain in the club, y'all can do whatever y'all want with y'all money, but it is taken away from the nation, and we need to call out the fiscally irresponsible and the financially illiterate. All right? Financial literacy is the name of the game. This is the budget. $150 million in anticipated federal reimbursement. Whoa! There you go. I love that word. Reimbursements that could make up for this should any lawsuits prevail. The litigation for all of these tenant protections and things like that. So it's happening. All right. They get into a lot of policing and keeping our cities safe, which you saw that we absolutely talked about and discussed. Keeping our cities safe, of course. And I'm only showing this. It says the number one job of the mayor is to keep Angelino safe. I just only wanted to show, because look at that. That's what we're talking about today. What a beautiful shot. And look at the mountains. Look at the mountains there. Wow. Wow. Look at that. Look at this city. Right. Great. Beautiful. Beautiful city. I have to show. I want to get a good clear shot of the city here. Wow. Look at that. That's what my sunset normally looks like every night. Beautiful pinks and blues. I remember when I first moved to this city, there was a smog that lingered over the city. And I was like, what is that? Is that a brown thunderstorm? What's happening? Hated it. Brown clouds. Ugh. But guess what? One day I said, you know what? That smog that used to linger over the city. I remember one day I was like, I am so happy that, I don't see that smog anymore. Somebody said, no, the smog is still there. It's clean emissions. So we're still getting the smog. We're still getting the smog. It's just cleaner. It's just a white smog now. So psych your mind. You're still getting smog. Excuse me. Oh my gosh. All right. So I'm just whistling through all this. I mean, public safety is very important. Hiring more firefighters is definitely more important because it really hasn't even began to get hot. And when it gets hot in the summertime here, we get wildfires. So, unfortunately, but you know what? This was probably one of my favorite parts of the budget proposed as well. Community investments to address poverty and income inequality. When we talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion, for me, this is the most important. Oh, I love it. Everyone loves this mayor. Everyone loves her because she really is like getting the job done, which is amazing. So part of her agenda is also advancing economic justice. That's a core value that she feels is of benefit to the city. Stating here the most important issue facing our city, the city of Los Angeles, is income inequality. I wish we could talk a little bit more about Hollywood, but we're going to move on to employment, job, career opportunities. I mean, let's not act like Hollywood ain't just 5-6 miles that way. Let's not act like Tinseltown ain't just a few, Burbank, all those studios, sales offices ain't just 10-15 miles that way. Let's not act like the 30-mile zone, Paramount Studios. Let's not act like Columbia Pictures, Warner Brothers ain't just right there in North Hollywood, these areas, Studio City. It's a huge contradiction for the city of Los Angeles and Hollywood, and I don't know how well these entities are working together, because I could have lived, worked, and played in Hollywood all my days and never even had to involve myself with local LA politics. But here I am, and I'm just doing what I think is best to really understand what the frack is going on, because way too many people, and she said it in her speech last night. It was one of the last things. I think I wanna play that real quick. The last part of her speech, because that kind of wrapped it up as we're getting into it. We'll get into it. I'll get into the last part of her speech, and because she talked about this American dream, why people move to Los Angeles, especially those that want to do well, singers, actors, musicians, fashion, what have you. And I think this is a great way to just kind of really just sum up everything. There's still a lot more news is happening. We'll get into Sudan. We'll close out with news from Sudan, because that's dominating. And we'll check back in with Sudan. I'll probably do a whole show dedicated. I believe capital city Khartoum is 100 people dead there. So we're gonna go from LA to global real quick here. And thank you to those that tune in, whether you listen live or later. Give me a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe. Feel free to comment. And let's see if we can, bring this all together and make it make sense for you. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Abandon your tenant. I asked Angelenos to participate with the new Office of Community Safety. Please attend our community meetings. Respond to our surveys and polling so that you are empowered to help decide what your neighborhood needs. From putting together a welcome kit for a newly housed Angeleno to helping us determine where new housing should be built, we can all pitch in to build the new LA that every Angeleno deserves. I said when I took office that being elected mayor was the honor of a lifetime, but serving as your mayor is the true honor. I've been speaking with Angelenos in tents and then speaking with them as they move indoors through Inside Safe, and they haven't given up. They show us that anything is still possible here in LA. I've gone out to meet with sanitation workers and street service workers before their shifts, and they have a true passion for getting our city to serve Angelenos better. I participated in opening day for the LA Football Club and for the Dodgers. And it reminds me that our city will welcome the US Open this spring, the World Cup in 2026, the Olympics in 2028. The biggest stars, the leading business people, and the world's best and brightest all want to come to LA. People from all over the world seeking a better life come to LA. And make no mistake, people from all over the country come to LA in search of the American dream too. I want all of them to experience a new LA, but more important, I want Angelenos to experience a new LA. One that is stronger, healthier, happier, and safer. One that is affordable. This is the new Los Angeles that we will build together. This is the new LA. Thank you, Los Angeles. Thank you to the people of Los Angeles.
Welcome back in. Thank you for tuning in. I just wanted to wrap up because she stated that so well. So many people come to the city of Los Angeles looking for, to fulfill their hopes and dreams and desires and whatever it is they want to for their livelihood. And I'm so happy she gets that. But I think there needs to be better relationships between the city and also Hollywood. And Hollywood, I guess whenever I get a chance to, as we get deeper into this administration and things are happening, just to really just want to get her thoughts, input, and insight in recognizing that Hollywood actually displaces and makes a lot of people homeless. You think you came from your acting school or theater troupe and I'm going to go to Los Angeles and I'm going to be a star. And everybody told you was cute and you was talented. But when you get here, I've had one of my clients who's Italian. They said you're not white enough to play, their Aryan Brotherhood. Told maybe he could play Mexican. Maybe he thought he was white until he came to LA. He thought he was white until he came to Los Angeles. So a lot of people face racial discrimination and Hollywood gets away with it. Hollywood gets away with a lot of racial discrimination in the name of aesthetics. Oh, it's just not the good fit. You're telling a story about a fucking fish through animation. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think her approach and solution would be for Hollywood to create more middle class jobs. But if you look at the reports of a lot of these movie houses, a lot of these studios, production companies, you will see that many of them have no people of color, no diversity. And so I think that needs to be held accountable. So I don't know if Hollywood got his own little mayor system going on, his own little government political system. I don't think it does. Maybe we need to do some careful cross-examining there. But Hollywood, you better get on board with this mayor because y'all definitely had her at award show season going to the Grammys, entertainment lawyer stuff. She was at Essence Black Women in Hollywood. Hollywood, Los Angeles, y'all synonymous. Like, we need to get on that. I'm going to say it right here, right now. Hollywood, you're contributing to the homelessness. You're increasing the homeless population, okay, with your racism and you excluding people from the entertainment industry. And it's particularly one group that's doing this that has a lot of power. And then you're doing these things in the name of aesthetics and to fit your beauty standards for fashion and modeling and television and singing, okay? I know in my spirit a Luther Vandross wouldn't be signed in today's age, okay? You do things that are disgusting to favor the minors for a lot of what you do and preying on the youth, okay, and also the youth culture. Your lack of diversity in hiring for body types, even if she is white or he is white, if they don't fit your body type standard. Hollywood is directly responsible for the homeless population. I've never said this, I think, in this way, but I'm going to call it right here, right now. Hollywood, you are directly responsible for increasing homelessness in the city of Los Angeles. I go out about in the city and I see a lot of talented homeless people. Okay? They be out there on the pier. They be at Skid Row. They be so talented. They be on Hollywood Boulevard. And many of them are homeless. And the income inequality. So I had to say that. And if nobody's going to ever put that out there, I just did. I just did. Y'all little punk ass TV shows, your little joke of a union for a lot of these professions. Oh, you want this job? You need to be in the union to get this job. Well, how do you get in the union? You have to have a certain amount of union jobs in order to get into the union. Well, the union jobs are very racist. I'm a pick a profession. Unit publicist, working on production. All right, that production needs to be SAG. Just all these union things, and then if you don't get certain type of jobs, then you can't get your credits up. So you got to get a certain amount of credits in order to get and have access. You got to be in a union to get access to jobs, and then you got to have a certain amount of these type of jobs in order to get into this type of union so you can get more. If y'all don't stop playing with me and putting people through this rat race of a hamster wheel on this backup generator and this defunct system, and we watching y'all lay off people by the tens of thousands because this shit ain't working. We need a Karen Bass for Hollywood. We need a Hollywood version of a Karen Bass. And we really don't, because we have Karen Bass in the city of Los Angeles. Like, come on, let's make this make sense. So I just had to say that. Thank you. I appreciate those that agree. Thank you for agreeing with me. So I'm going through the budget. I'm wrapping it up. But I just had to, that's my address to Hollywood. Whether you listen live or later, I appreciate you. We're going to get right back into it. Very, very beautiful. We're addressing the income inequality. I'll just show you back here. We're going through the budget. Thanks for tuning in, whether you listen live or later. Community investments to address poverty and income inequality. Wow. Let's get into it. They love her. They love this mayor. We love her. She's amazing. She's amazing. Great. So, she said the most important issue facing our city is income inequality. The most extreme results of which in homelessness. Again, homelessness, because of the income inequality, even if you do get a studio job, what, if I'm a woman, if I'm melanated, I'm going to be paid less? I'm going to be paid 52 cents while he get $1? Oh, hell no. We need an audit. We need an audit. We need a federal audit. We need a whole federal audit. Like, we need a whole federal, start with all the state legislatures and all the major corporations and the feds coming in. We need the feds. Shit, people running amok. She said, to create a city that works for all, it is imperative to address income inequality. Toward that end, the budget makes significant investments in the coming year. So she's going to make a deeper analysis of poverty in Los Angeles. Hollywood, check Hollywood. Check Hollywood and check them. Check them and check them. And look to make additional strategic investments in the coming fiscal year. And I wanted to show this, just proof. Here's proof. The city is hiring. The city's hiring. The city's hiring. The city is hiring. All right. Thousands of people this year. All right, let me see. Let me find some communications jobs. Let me find some communication jobs. Let me find some jobs in media services. I love it. Building a diverse workforce and helping people on the road to good jobs is a key priority of the Mayor Bass administration. And so, yeah, she's got a program. So trust me, y'all gonna want to tune in and keep it locked and loaded right here. I'll be sure to pass along these resources. I'm really trying to find more people that are local to LA. I know this is highly relevant. This is a major city, so we're gonna keep promoting the broadcast, getting the word out. Promotion is the name of the game. And thank you to all of our partners, our affiliates, those that will share the content. And like I said, whether you listen live or later, I appreciate you all for tuning in. And some of the areas that are hiring, jobs and opportunities, LA Rise is one. That's for those that were incarcerated. The budget from the city includes $3 million to continue that program. To keep these people from going back to prison. They need work. Come on. Also, there's a program called Clean LA. Funding is added there. And this is a part of the city employment, I believe, but they focus on removing litter and, weeds and cleaning services along the corridors throughout the city. Also a program called Hire Youth LA, a job there for the youth workplace where they can gain some skills, so they can become productive members of society and start getting some real world on the job training. Very, very, simple youth job tasks. And I know a lot of young people, they can't wait to get to work. They want to be able to help contribute to the family because they see the financial burden it takes to raise a family. So kudos to those young people and 14 to 24 years old. Any 14 to 24 year olds? Look, y'all, I've been waiting on this budget. I'm a Taurus, if anybody, noticed. And I love luxury and money and wealth and resources, abundance of resources. So I'm so happy this calendar, this fiscal year, proposed budget and the summary and the blue book and all the financial expertise that is coming out right now around my birthday time. And so, yay, I'm so excited. Because now I feel like we can open up this calendar, April, to open April. You get it now, right? $3 million for coming from this budget for youth hiring programs. I love it. Also, supporting families and children. LA's Best provides after-school programs to children 5 to 12. Oh, yay, the babies! Volunteer work there, but they have to pay for supplies, bus transportation, and yeah. I want to stay away from volunteers, but more power to them. And maybe when I'm wealthy enough, I can start volunteering. That's something. They don't tell you that. A lot of wealthy people actually do volunteer, but you know why? Because it's really good networking. Really good networking. Also, those senior meals coming from the emergency funds with the pandemic. There were senior meal programs that were established to protect some of our senior citizens. I just, my heart goes out, man. Child care centers. Reopening, refurbishing child care centers, family source centers, funding for fair work week and things like that. Just beautiful, beautiful things. And here's another something that I was able to, as you saw, I asked my question about, promoting small businesses, women-owned businesses, small black-owned businesses, and it looks like there will be some funding. But I love it when she says it. LA is open for business. Yay! Okay. Y'all gonna need some vendors. Y'all gonna need some contracts. Y'all gonna need some employees. Y'all gonna need some staffing. Y'all gonna need some marketing, promotions, public relations. Because when I hear business, I think money, I think promotions, I think advertising, I think communications, community involvement. That's what when I hear business. I hear you gotta like, business means people spending money and recouping and revenue and growth. And so funding is provided to restore in-person outreach and education programs for businesses looking to do business with the city. So it's for those that don't want to go and become an employee, because remember, there's a particular group of people who are going to be underpaid. Remember what they say? If you black, you got to work twice as hard and get paid half as much. So that means the company is getting maybe 3 to 5 times the labor and paying only a fraction of the cost. And then so that means the other non-black people are working less and getting paid more. Come on, inflation. No fucking wonder we're in a recession. No wonder it's not making sense. If it ain't making dollars, it ain't making sense. You're actually losing money by paying white men more, and they're not even working as hard as the black woman who's muling as if she's 3 to 5 people. She's doing 3 to 5 jobs. He's doing half of what her one job entails. He's getting paid more. That's not fiscally responsible. It don't even fucking make economic sense. It doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. That is why our economy is suffering right now. It's not making dollars. It ain't making sense. Jeez. Come on. What person is doing this accounting where this man is doing the job of one and getting paid a full $1, and this person is doing 3 to 5 times the work, and I know you saving some money because you muling the black woman on the job, but you paying her 52 cents. So that's fine. You want to pay her 52 cents and she's doing more work, so she's churning out more labor and higher productivity. But okay, that's fine. That's what your dollar's making sense. But get rid of the one white boy who you overpaying, and he ain't putting out no productivity. What the fuck is going on? Come on, that ain't making sense. Here's another beautiful picture of my beautiful city. It ain't making dollars. It ain't making sense to me. It ain't making sense. Wow, it's not making sense. It's not making sense. We are at a high inflation, recession, credit freezing, banks slowing down, massive layoffs. Wow. You are saving money when you cut jobs. I get it. But next time you hire, don't go hire the lazy bum who can barely do half of his job. And then the person that is exercising all their labor, churning out 3 to 5 times the work and getting paid half as much. Whatever. That I get it. That's exploitation. That's capitalism. But get rid of the white boy that you paying $1 and he only. So wait. You pay him $1 and he putting out 0.12% of the work. You pay her 52 and she generating $6, $12. She generating $25 and he can barely churn out 12 cents if you don't stop playing with me. If you don't stop playing with me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What is really going on? So tourism, all these other things that will bring in growth. We got the Olympics coming. We have the Olympics coming. And of course, like I said, don't try to paint us, the native indigenous Americans, as the 5 civilized tribes and whoever else. Don't paint us. Don't paint us as if we don't care about the land. We are the best agricultures in the world. We are the best farmers in the world. And that's the reason the Department of Interior and the Bureau of Indian Affairs is making sure that we get back into these tribes, because somebody got to harvest the land, because somebody don't know how to plant and cultivate tobacco and corn and pumpkin and squash. And their crops are failing. But when we might have to go do a whole other thing about the Department of Agriculture and what that meant when the true indigenous farmers were displaced in Oklahoma and Indian Territory, and how, let's go back to the Department of War, who had to admit it was those Black, indigenous, Native Americans that they really had to make sure that they took care of them because the country was hungry. Okay? Let's talk about the early 1900s. When the United States was like, we got to do right by these people. That's why a lot of y'all ancestors ended up with a lot of land. I believe they said the farmers at the time, more than 80%, 86% of the of Black farmers at that time, of the farmers, of the agricultural population, were Black farmers. Now I think it's just 6%. Because you defunded the Black farmers. So I think there's a report on the Black farmers that's coming out. Like I said, we might have to do a whole broadcast on that. I don't mind putting it out there because ain't nobody else really talking about it. And even if they do, it ain't mass distributed. We're going to be a broken record on that. All right, we got food shortages. We don't have time for this fake indigenous cosplaying Spaniards playing as the Mayans. We don't have time for that. We really don't. All right, we need the true stewards of the land, and that's in the words of President Joseph R. Biden. It's time to give the land back to the true stewards of the land, because those cosplaying as Native American ain't getting it done. So I really go in that direction when I talk about the environment, because that little fake PSA of the Indian man, what was actually played by an Italian immigrant, where the one tear was running down his face. And he's like, y'all are destroying me. So the message was that the indigenous are noticing the pollution and all, and then as far as today, the climate change, they can sense it in the air that something's different. But that ain't the indigenous. So the Department of Interior, the Bureau of American Indian Affairs, they're gonna have to it's already in the process. That's really the reason you've seen all of these Black indigenous reparations. It's time for the true stewards of the land to protect our environment, and that's truly investing in the future. That's the new protecting our environment. There's a budget for that as well. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I love it. We green too. We're all the colors. We're all the colors. I love this quote. Los Angeles will remain at the forefront of environment. You know, California is very hippie when it comes to environmental protection. Of environmental protection and innovative sustainability. All people, not just the wealthy side of town, okay, all clean, crisp air. Is the air better in Beverly Hills? Is it just me? Or is the air better in Bel Air? All people have the right to clean air, clean water, and a healthy environment. Flint? Anybody? Jackson? Anyone? We don't want that. When we're having droughts and then flooding and then earthquakes and then wildfires and then the water got to be used for wildfires and we got an ocean right there, not enough desalination factories and plants. What is really going on? So Mayor Bass, through her new budget, she remains committed to showing progress towards zero carbon emission goal. That electric grid, y'all, transportation, buildings, let's get into it. All right, these are economic opportunities. So those initiatives are going to be supported through programs managed by the Department of Water and Power, Harbor, and Airport. Los Angeles will continue to do all it can with this mayor at the helm leading the way to turn this year's record snow and rain into record water capture. Hallelujah, somebody figured out if it rains, somebody go out there and capture it. Expand and secure a local sustainable water supply and advance the city's bold environmental goals. And like I told y'all better get into it, because California is moving over to these electrical vehicles, transitioning to electrical vehicles. This is great. $12 million allocated for fleet and public charging. I told y'all there's a brother out of Buffalo who has the charging station and an app to go with it. I don't know what I gotta do to get me a charging battery kit. But if y'all need somebody to help y'all build these chip semiconductors or whatever, y'all better just start setting up shop. Like this, that's the other green rush. California got two green rushes. We got environmental green rush and we got cannabis regulation green rush. But we have a green rush on two fronts. All right, I always tell y'all, as goes California, so goes the nation. All right. You know, trees, maintaining, we got trees in LA. I know we got trees in Central and Northern California, but palm trees, I don't see that many trees. I see trees downtown. I see trees in the suburbs, I suppose. But I don't really see trees. Maybe we need more trees out in South Central LA too. We'll see. We'll see. I didn't know we had trees. Thank y'all. Thank you. I recycle. I love recycling. I love this one. More green spaces. I love parks. And not just green spaces for your dogs to take a poop. Okay? You know, I hate that. No. Providing green and open spaces. Parks. I love it. I love it. And it just feels better. It's just to sit in a field of beautiful green grass and then, you know, you can have your little blanket. You can have your green on the green. Green on the green. Ooh. Maybe somebody can open a green space for the green users. Get my hint? For the herbal enthusiast. That, if somebody created a central park for the green cannabis herbal partakers, yo, and I could imagine everybody just, it would be so beautiful. I don't know why that space makes me think about that. A nice little blanket. You got your little snacks when you get the munchies. And you just out in the green. I love it. This broadcast is intended for adult audiences and for educational purposes only. Viewer discretion, your own age discretion is advised. But we do partake in the herbal remedies here. And then it's just really about serving all of Los Angeles. I just love this, man. I'm probably going to leave it here. This is a beautiful picture serving all of Los Angeles. Okay, how beautiful. Look at this. We all up in the mayor's budget. Look, sometimes you don't got what's already understood don't need to be stated nor restated. I get it. Look at this. I'm realizing we all up in the budget. We all up in the budget. We all up in the imagery and the iconography if you wanted to know what's in it for us. But I'm going to make sure that we get to the root of the issue and we really talk about economic inclusion, getting our equity. I love it. I love it. She says we continue our work to make Los Angeles more livable for all. It does not, that is not a flex or a brag when you say, I pay $2,700 for a studio. That is not cute. That is not cute. But what does Hollywood tell people? Come to Hollywood. Come be a star. Come visit LA. Come on. And then the city's crowded and then nobody wants to responsibly deal with the influx of people that kind of just come here, again, like the mayor was saying, in search of the American dream. So, she talked a lot about the strong reserves. This budget for the fiscal year 2023 to 2024, the proposed budget provides roughly a 10% cumulative reserve of general fund. They talked a lot about the general fund. Just give me some background on that. But $30 million for mid-year reserves, $196.8 million for the budget stabilization fund, $561 million for the reserve fund that factors to roughly 7% investment level that exceeds the 5% commitment required by the city charter. So when we're talking about the fund, the general fund, we're talking about reserves. This ensures that the city is in the best position if there's anything that's like emergency, unforeseen circumstances and challenges and things like that. So remember, this mayor issued a state of emergency and had to work with a budget that she really didn't propose or things like that. So I'm excited to see now. Now we're playing ball here. Now we playing money ball. So and they get into the appropriations and things like that. So I'll be going over that and just pulling out some key details and hopefully yeah, we'll see. Year to date and things like that. But yeah, we get into the numbers. It's a lot. So the math is starting to math. The math is finally mathing. It's making a lot of sense. And I wanted to take this time to, just really hone in. This is, these numbers. People don't like to look at the numbers. I thank you so much to my people that tune in. I hope you're doing okay out there. And I'm going to leave y'all because we did it. We made it through another successful broadcast. Again, this is Lady Lila Brown for LB Media Group's Melanated News You Can Use. I'm reporting live right now from the great city of Los Angeles. Was at City Hall last night. Where the mayor gave her State of the City address, and I was back at City Hall today where the mayor presented her budget. I'm so happy to share that with you all, but I'm going to leave y'all with this song because I think we figured out where the dollar's at. We figured it out. We made it. Hey. Until next time, okay? I'm out there getting all the news, the scoop, the information. So thank y'all for tuning in. Hey.